Hello, this is Andrew Giovinazzi, and I'm the Executive Vice President of Business Development from Aqumin. And I'm here to describe the new Aqumin Excel add-in, how it works and why you might use it, and also how it integrates with your Excel and other Microsoft tools. So, here is just a screenshot of a standard spreadsheet. You noticed the Aqumin add-in is up here in the left corner. There's a tab. And what we can do is we can take spreadsheet data and convert it into an interactive space. So actually all the data that resides in your spreadsheet can now reside in an interactive 3D space. So our users and customers can see how the data interrelates, and it helps generate better decisions. Also, you can save the way you want to look at your information. So you have here a tab that says View App Mover. You hit Show, and it generates a new live visualization from the data in your spreadsheet, whatever the current updated version is. Also, there's another way, VWAP concentration here, where you click a button and it shows you how the data is arranged in that fashion. It allows you to take a sense of, thousands and thousands of data points. Because the add-in resides inside Excel, you can use all the standard Microsoft SharePoint features for allowing people to share information. There's security, permissioning, all of that just works inside the SharePoint environment. So what you have pretty much instantly is you have a visual interpretive space for all the data that you're already collecting. And what this adds is you now have a layer of insight from the infrastructure that you have in place, or the SharePoint infrastructure you might acquire. And it's very easy now to move these spreadsheets to different people, and they can get a look at what's going on inside their data. Okay, so here we are with a standard spreadsheet. I have tabular data here, and these are actually from the NASDAQ alpha indexes. And what we're doing is just showing, we're going to take this data and see if we can get a little bit of insight from each of the charts that we have here. Normally you'd be looking at these charts one or two at a time, but I'm going to show you an alternative way to look at it that actually gives you kind of a nice trading idea out of this. So what I'm going to do is first select the data I want. So I'm going to click Date, and I'm just going to select my data. And what that does now is all the data is ready basically for AlphaVision to consume. I'm going to create a series landscape. Let's call it Alpha Indexes. And I'm just going to hit Create. So what this should give me now is AlphaVision and the ability to interact inside all of the data points. We'll see if anything interesting pops out. So here we go, and I'm going to pull this down a little bit and zoom in. And first thing I want to do is I want to change the ranges on what I'm looking at. Let's say I want some hard cutoffs where I want to see where the indexes outperform the market by 15% and underperform the market by, let's say, 25%. So we'll have 75 down here. So now what you see is everything in dark green is when the index, this particular alpha index here, and this would be Amazon. This is a standard chart going from December of 2009 to April of 2011. And one thing you notice here that's nice, so anytime you see red here, the index is basically Amazon would be underperforming an index, and anytime it's in green or in dark green, it starts to outperform. And notice the dark green bands never last for too long. It's very hard for these particular stocks, right, that make up part of the SPY. We have GE, Google, Intel, Merck, RIM, and Walmart. It's really hard for them to outperform the SPY for a long period of time. So around 15%, you notice they start to fall off. But by the same token, you notice it is very hard for, let's see, in a stock like RIM here, and now we have Google over here on the right side, where it's very hard for these indexes to underperform, right, where it's the value's less than 75 for a long period of time, although RIM has been bouncing along here and then starts to pop back up, pops back up again. It looks like we're in a trough again, but also the same thing for Google. So actually for Google to underperform to this degree, it's the first time since they've been collecting the data since the end of 2009. And it probably looks like this index is a bit of a buy right now, I would say, especially if you want to get rid of the market risk. So in this way, it's real easy to look at. We're looking at basically 7 charts at once. And what you're getting is you get a sense of how long these charts or these indexes outperform or overperform. And one thing you notice is it is finite, really. So since they've been collecting data, it's very hard for these indexes, an individual stock, to outperform for a long time. So it makes these vehicles, potentially very good trading vehicles, since you do take the market risk out. And that's information I just got from a standard tabular spreadsheet. And the great thing is this now can be shared with anybody that you send the spreadsheet to that has the AlphaVision Addin. And off you go. It makes it very, very simple to share, collaborate, and compare information in a firm, especially if you're doing research, if you're doing risk control. Several ways to benefit from this level of insight without having to do a whole lot extra to your infrastructure. You really just can use the assets you have in place. And you notice over here to the right now, you have the view manager, and you can line this up with all kinds of different ways to look and format the data that you're interested in. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and you can understand now that there are different ways to look at information and to get insight and hopefully trading ideas, risk management ideas, or solve problems just by the data that you already have. Again, this is Andrew Giovinazzi from Aqumin, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.